Good afternoon, YouTube. Hope you're all good. Good afternoon. Hope everybody's having a good afternoon. I hope everybody is staying safe. I hope everybody is looking after their families, staying connected with their loved ones, whether it be over Skype or Messenger or all the social media platforms that are out there. Now I had to come up with try and think of a topic to talk about, and as the title says, that the FA chairman Greg Clark has sort of come out and spoke about the impacts that this situation with the coronavirus has on football, and it's quite interesting. It's very interesting because he has sort of said that everybody connected with football, whether it be the clubs, the fans, everybody who is a stakeholder in the club, and that needs to take responsibility, and sort of suggested that some clubs and leagues could go under, and some leagues, might not recover from this if everybody isn't pulled together. Now, so yeah, listen, he was sort of giving a report to Sky Sports and just sort of saying that that clubs and fans, and it was quite interesting because he did sort of suggest that fans had their part to play in this as well. So whether that being that obviously, myself, I'm a season ticket holder at Arsenal, and other season ticket holders at other clubs. If the season doesn't get finished, what does that mean for possible refunds and stuff? And now I know that that's not the biggest thing in the world. So maybe it's that they could just get the season tickets could just get wiped. The season tickets could just get wiped. But then looking at it from another wider issue, you've got little clubs that could go under. He also suggested that Premier League clubs, depending on the size and stature of the club, will not be immune to this financial struggle either. You've got teams down there like Burnley, you've got the Norwich. I know, I saw something the other day saying that if the Premier League's not finished, Burnley could go under or something. So no, we're all we all want the season to be completed, and that remains to be seen whether it is going to get completed. But you can sort of see why they're clutching at straws to try and finish this season, because it could be a massive thing if the season's not completed, because like they was Greg Clark was suggesting that some clubs could go under and football could not be the same again, and he also suggested as well in the report that some clubs will never recover if they go under. That's it. That could be it for them. So I can sort of get it, why they're sort of clutching at straws to try and finish the season. Do I think it's the right thing to do? Who knows? Who knows whether it's the right thing to do to try and finish the season? Of course it is. I personally, my personal opinion would be it would be so much easier to just void the season. But then it's easy for me to say that as a fan, because I'm not directly involved, with any of those football clubs that could be potentially facing struggles if the season is void. So it's an interesting one. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. And it just goes to show that with this virus, everywhere's getting hit. Everybody's getting hit. Everybody's getting, all the things that we love, like football and, the freedom of travel, the freedom of going to bars, going to restaurants. It's all affected, and it's all because of a virus. And it's a couple of months ago, it would be mad to think, the talk of putting the country in lockdown, and the talk of putting not just our country in lockdown, but the world in lockdown, and maybe football being suspended, and the possibility that the season would never get completed. And a few months ago, it was unheard of. If you'd had said to me a few months ago, that the season might not be completed, your country's going to be in lockdown, all the pubs and bars and restaurants and all the social things are going to be shut, I'll just turn around and say, nah, that would never happen. But it is happened. It has happened. Even the Prime Minister of the UK getting the virus. Listen, I'm not Boris Johnson's biggest fan, but I hope he makes a speedy recovery, and he couldn't be ill at a worse time, because the country is facing these challenges, and that just goes to show that nobody's immune from the virus. Not anybody. Doesn't matter whether you're famous, whether you're Joe Blogs, or whether you're the prime minister of a country, or royalty, or whatever. This virus doesn't discriminate, and it's amazing how things are just changing. And listen, there's no end in sight. There's no end in sight with this virus, so we don't know what's going to happen. And obviously there are bigger things than football, and rightly so. Greg Clark said as well that obviously they're all keen to finish the season, but saving lives is more important, and that is spot on. You can't, at the end of the day, football is not a necessity. Yes, we all love it. Yes, we'll enjoy it. We'll be there commiserating or cheering, depending on whether our team loses or wins. Majority of people on here being Arsenal fans, we have more commiserations than victories, but ultimately saving lives is more important. Thank you to everybody watching live at the moment. Please stick a like on this video. Everybody who is on there, who's watching now, go and like the video, smash the like button, subscribe if you're new. Subscribe if you're new. Listen, I've been rambling on for 8 minutes. Let me get into some of your chats and read some of your questions out. Irabalze, how are you, mate? How are you? Listen, you've not been on one of my streams for a while. Hope you're well. How am I holding up? I'm holding up good, actually. Listen, I'm doing okay. I'm able to go out for my once a day exercise. Listen, I have a guide dog, so listen, I get to go out and I get to take my dog out. But yeah, I'm holding up, mate. I'm doing well. Hope you're doing well. Hope you and your family are safe. But yeah, I'm holding up good. Afternoon to you, Gavin. Listen, I'm glad I can bring you guys content. Glad I can bring you guys content. Afternoon to you, Steve. No worries, mate. No worries at all. Uh, Sorry to the person who asked me why I'm not going on AFTV, why I've stopped coming on AFTV. I can't pronounce your name. Listen, my screen reader's probably butchering it, but you know who you are. Um, well, to answer your question, there is no football, and also, there is no football, so there's obviously no a. Obviously, AFTV are putting out content, but they've not asked me to do anything for them. I don't expect them to ask me to do anything for them, but it depends. They obviously do content what the people want, and obviously not many people want to see me on AFTV. So if you like my content and you want me to, um, you want me to do more, you want to see more of my content, then stay tuned to my channel because this is where it will be. But yeah, if they ask me to do stuff, I'll go on there and I'll do it. But they've not asked me at the moment. Yeah, Alexis Sanchez. I'm sure that's not the real Alexis Sanchez because he wouldn't be watching a blind guy on YouTube. But I like your name though. Listen, I like your name. How are you? I'm good. I'm good, mate. Uh, Gavin's got a question here. He says, if I had to get rid of 3 Arsenal players um, and bring in 3 players without having to part with extra money, who would I select? So that's easy for me. The 3 players I'll get rid of is Granit Xhaka, Mesut Ozil, and Squadron Mustafi. Now the 3 players I'll bring in is Upamecano, um, Philip Coutinho. Listen, I like Coutinho, um, and Thomas Partey. Those would be the 3 players I'd bring in. Let's have a look. So Steve saying, back onto my earlier point, apologies for the delay in answering your question, Steve. So Steve was saying that he believes that clubs in the lower leagues will go. I agree, actually. I think some of these clubs will go because, listen, their attendance is not, like a Premier League club's attendance. But yeah, I believe that too, mate. I think they will go. Um, Afternoon to you, Carol. I'm very well, thank you. That's an interesting point, Steve. So for anybody watching, Steve says he thinks there'll be a lot of restructuring, especially in the lower leagues, with fewer teams in each league. That's an interesting point because that could happen. That could be a possibility. I think it just depends on if they finish the season. It probably won't be as bad. But if they scrap the season and then delay the next season, I think the trick is if they're going to finish the season, they're going to have to start it either mid-May or beginning of June for them to have any chance of finishing it and possibly having a next season. So they've got to they've got to do something with that. That's why I do think, as harsh as it's going to be, just scrap the end of the season and then start from August because it keeps the normal schedule. Yeah, you're going to lose you're going to lose out on match day revenue with not finishing the season. But that's just the way I think. I mean, obviously, I'm not connected with the FA and I have no clue as to what's going on. We just, get to see reports. But, I just think that if we scrap the season, and I know it's not going to be great for certain clubs. Listen, with a situation like this, there's always going to be casualties. Always going to be casualties. And I think we just have to accept that some clubs aren't going to be the same again. And, we're not going to save all the clubs. Afternoon to you, Melina. Hope you're well. So Carol says she agrees with me. We're entitled to dream. So yeah, that's pretty much the news, guys. Is that the FA, the chairman of the FA, has come out and said that English football's pretty much not going to be the same again. So the football leagues is not going to be the same again, which I sort of, if I'm being honest, I sort of expected that. I sort of expected that that it's not going to be the same, and I think we all knew that. But I can sort of now understand why they are trying to finish the season. Do I think finishing the season is the right thing to do? I'm not so sure. I think the best thing to do would be to scrap the season and start from next season. I just think that to keep the normal structure of football, because football's going to get the structure is going to be messed up in the next couple of seasons anyway, with the World Cup in Qatar. We already know that that's going to be a Winter World Cup. Listen, I banged on for quite some time that the season should be scrapped. I'm sure you guys are probably fed up of hearing it, but it was interesting to read the article, and it was interesting to see what happens with what could potentially happen to football clubs, especially the little football clubs, the ones in the lower leagues. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. To be honest, that's pretty much pretty much the news story. That's pretty much the long and short of it. And that's I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I guess we'll just have to just be patient a bit longer and let it all play out. Because one way or another, we will get the answers. It may not be this week. It may not be. It may not be next week. It may be a fair while, but we just got to let things play out. Listen, I've been going for about 20 minutes now, or just coming up to 20 minutes. Thank you to everybody who's participated. Do smash a like on the video. Do hit the subscribe button if you are new, and don't forget to share the channel around, share the content around. I really appreciate you guys watching. I really appreciate all the support and the interaction I've had from you guys. Don't forget, these streams will be every day at 3:30 without fail. Listen, I know I had the other day, I got talking to a group of friends of mine, and I've completely, I've not spoken to them for a while. So, I hadn't spoken to them for a while, so I got a bit sidetracked, and I delayed the stream by half an hour, and then actually didn't get off the phone to my friends for about an hour and 20 minutes. So for that, I apologize. But these streams, yeah, they're going to be at 3:30 every day. So be sure to tune in. And listen, I've got quite good quite a good number of people watching. So thank you very much for tuning in. I am going to do that, and I've been saying this for a while, and I do apologise for not doing it. I'm going to be putting up my all-time Arsenal 11 in a pre-recorded video, because I know some of you missed the live stream because YouTube was having a mare that day, and it wasn't. It didn't come out, and the stream somehow disappeared off YouTube. But hey ho, that's the nature of bringing you guys content. Well, until tomorrow, guys, that's it. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Whether you're starting your day or whether you're halfway through it like me, enjoy the rest of your day. Look after yourselves, and I'll be back tomorrow.